In March 2025, the European Union passed a law that could change technology forever. A law that doesn't just regulate machines, it rewrites how we define intelligence itself. This is the story of how one continent decided to draw the line between innovation and control. Because while Silicon Valley races to build smarter algorithms and China builds smarter cities, Europe just built the world's first AI constitution. And depending on who you ask, it's either the most visionary idea of the decade or the biggest speed bump in tech history. So what is the EU AI Act really about? Why does every major tech company fear it? And could it secretly become the blueprint for the entire world? Let's find out. But first, let's reset our human attention span. Because if you're anything like me, you've already checked your phone twice since this video started. Let's focus. You'll want to hear this. 1. The birth of a digital law. To understand the EU's AI Act, we need to rewind not years, but centuries. Europe has always been obsessed with balance between freedom and responsibility, innovation and ethics, power and principle. So when AI started making life-changing decisions, who gets a loan, who gets hired, who goes to jail, Europe didn't just build startups. IT built a framework. The AI Act is the world's first comprehensive law that classifies AI systems by risk, not hype. There are 4 levels: unacceptable risk, banned completely. High risk, tightly regulated. Limited risk, labeled for transparency. Minimal risk. Basically your Netflix recommendations, although to be fair, my Netflix recommendations are starting to feel like psychological warfare. Seriously? Who told it I like documentaries about Norwegian architects? Anyway, the EU isn't banning AI. It's just saying, if you build a mind, make sure it doesn't manipulate one. That's not bureaucracy. That's foresight. 2. The battle of philosophies. Here's the fascinating part. The EU's AI Act isn't just a policy. It's a philosophy. I in America. AI means innovation. I in China. AI means coordination. I in Europe. AI means responsibility. Where Silicon Valley says, move fast and break things, Brussels says, move carefully and fix them. And somewhere in France, someone's still debating if robots should pay taxes. The EU's approach might seem slow. But remember, the GDPR privacy law everyone once mocked. It became the global standard. History loves to repeat itself. And this time, the repeat might be exponential. Because behind closed doors, big tech isn't fighting the law, they're quietly adapting to it. Why? Because once you comply with Europe's rules, you're compliant everywhere. And that's the ultimate power move. 3. Inside the machine. Let's break down what's actually inside this law and why it's reshaping the foundation of AI itself. Under the new act, AI that manipulates behavior banned. AI that predicts emotions, heavily restricted. AI used in law enforcement, tightly monitored. Every algorithm must now be traceable, auditable, and explainable. In other words, no more black boxes. Sorry, ChatGPT. You can't just say, as an AI language model, and walk away anymore. The EU wants human-in-the-loop systems, AI that assists, not replaces, decision-making. It's not just technical. It's moral. But here's where things get complicated. Some of the most powerful AIs, like predictive policing models, fall into the high-risk category. And those systems are already running all across Europe. So what happens when the law says pause? But the algorithms can't stop learning? For the tech industry strikes back, the response was immediate. Tech companies warned, this will kill innovation. This will drive startups out of Europe. This will slow down progress. But the EU held its ground. Because to them, progress without accountability is just chaos with better branding. Or as Brussels might say, we prefer our chaos with a legal disclaimer. But the irony, by forcing transparency, the EU might actually make AI more valuable. Why? Because when people trust the system, they use it more. And that trust compounds. So while Silicon Valley races to be first, Europe might quietly become the place where AI lasts, because speed wins headlines, but trust wins history. 5. The global ripple effect. Here's what most people miss. The EU AI Act isn't staying in Europe. Brazil, Canada, Japan, even parts of the US are drafting AI laws modeled directly after it. The same way GDPR changed global privacy, this act could redefine digital ethics worldwide. Think of it like software licensing, but for civilization. And while the headlines scream, regulation kills innovation, the truth is more nuanced. Because the EU isn't trying to stop AI, it's trying to civilize it. And that raises one final, uncomfortable question. If Europe is building AI for humanity, who's building it for profit? 6. The human equity. In every great revolution in history, from electricity to the internet, started with the same fear: what if this destroys us? And every time, humanity didn't collapse. IT evolved. The EU's AI Act is not a roadblock, it's a mirror. IT forces us to ask, what do we want AI to reflect? Our power or our purpose? Because AI doesn't define the future, we do. Unless, of course, the robots unionize first. Then we're all negotiating overtime rates. The real test of progress isn't how fast machines learn, it's how wisely humans adapt. The EU's AI Act could change technology forever, but the real revolution, it's not happening in code, it's happening in consciousness. Because just like AI learns through iteration, so does success. The small, smart decisions we make every day compound into something extraordinary. If you want to understand how to harness that same exponential power to build your wealth, your mindset, and your future, click the next video, The Power of Compounding. Because the future isn't written by algorithms, it's written by you. Subscribe our YouTube channel and press the bell icon for more videos. Thank you.